with the synagogue and a Jewish organization, which my father helped to support the Jewish people that they could not afford the Jewish education. And then, till 1939, I was in school, finishing in the middle of high school.
We had 2 stores, and he was, you know, very well off in those times. We had 2 girls working. One was the whole time with us, and then one was just coming in for big cleaning or something. And that's it. My mother was cooking, but the girl was everything doing potato peeling and all the things. She never did. And we never went in the kitchen. If I went in the kitchen to help, my mother said, "You have time, go out." So we was just playing outside, or went in the store a little to help out if they needed. And we really didn't work in the house. We had a very good life. They used to say, that was in the time from the Czech, that this is small America, like America. Well, it was very good to the Jews in those days.
And Sziget, most of the people were religious, Orthodox. I grew up in a very, very warm, nice, well-known family. I was the only child. My parents lived with their parents. So I grew up in my grandparents' house. I went to school every Saturday with my grandfather. As a matter of fact, I used to carry his tallis because you were not allowed to carry things. This is called Erev. There was no Erev. Michael, is it Erev?
Religious.
The religious...
Jews believe not to carry.
It has to be, the city has to be surrounded with a certain wire to be allowed to carry things. I was a little girl. I used to carry for my grandfather the tallis to school. Used to sit there, play around, watch everybody, and then when we came home, I carried his tallis back home. I went to Hebrew school 3 times a week. There was a school called Beis Yaakov. 3 times a week I went to Hebrew school. I had a very nice teacher that I liked very much. I even remember her name. Her name was Chaya Haas. She taught, even my aunt, Goldie, used to be her student for years. And there was organizations, Zionist organizations, that teenagers used to get together Friday night for singing and dancing. I didn't belong to any because I was too young, but my aunt Goldie used to take me. If I behaved all week long, she would take me Friday night to this sing-along. She belonged to the Mizrahi organization. There was Agudat Israel, there was Mizrahi organization, and there was Shomer HaTzair, and but most of the people were really religious people. There were, all the holidays were observed, stores were closed. Every Friday night afternoon, you could see how everybody was running home. They closed the stores. Saturdays was peace and quiet because most of the stores belonged to Jewish people. And if they closed the stores, the streets were quiet. But then the Gentiles, the non-Jewish people, respected them and they abide by it. So they did their shopping before Saturday. As a kid, I used to go not by myself, either with my mother or with my aunt, Goldie, or the other 2 aunts I had that didn't survive the war. I used to go with them to the shoichet, and there was a lady who used to clean the chickens for us on the spot. Every Friday afternoon, my grandfather used to send me to buy wine for Shabbos, for Kiddush. As a matter of fact, his name was so well known that he used to send me to the store without money. And he said, you just tell whose granddaughter you are. Your credit is good. And that's what happened. I used to go for wine, and I said, my grandfather sent me. My father was a scholar. He was not a businessman. He made hardly a living, but he was a highly intellectual. He read to us. He used to read stories to me and tell us stories. He was a very good storyteller, but he did not survive.
Did your father teach Jewish children?
Yes, my father was. My father was fluent in Hebrew, and he taught children for the bar mitzvah. And he studied with a study group every Saturday afternoon in the synagogue with older men who were anxious to study Torah. My father used to study with them in the synagogues. As a matter of fact, one day I came into a small neighborhood grocery store, and the owner of the store said to another customer, to an adult man, you know who this little girl is? This is the daughter of the man who teaches us on Saturday in shul, who studies with us on Saturday in the shul, and I was very proud of that. And it was a terrible loss for me when I lost my father. He was a very great man.
Did you like to play sports or?
No, no. My only sport was running with the neighborhood children. I was really a tomboy. I used to go over the climbing trees and playing. My mother didn't let me because she was overprotective. She wouldn't let me swim. She didn't let me skate because she was always afraid something would get hurt. I didn't participate. I didn't participate in any sports.
Did they have electricity, running water?
Yes.
Toilets,
No. They had.
Tell us about that.
We had electricity, but there was no running water and there was no toilets in the house. Only houses, and there was a the water. A well. A well? Water well. That's where we got our water, cold and fresh and clean. My grandfather had a big household. His profession was a transportation, but not with cars or trucks, but horses and cars, wagons. They were a company, 6 partners. So it was a big household with horses and cows and chickens and even a chick. A chick.
Sheep.
Not sheep, the other one. What's a chick?
A sheep.
No sheep.
A lamb?
No, you know the ones?
Goat.
Goats. Yeah, goats.
Did you make goat's milk and goat's cheese?
No, they made me drink goat milk. They didn't make the cheese. We used to make sometimes butter. There was a lot of milk, so my grandmother used to make their own butter. And there was a lot of eggs and a lot of vegetables, a big garden by the house. And there was a big garden with 41 prune trees. And I climbed all of them. A lot of mountains, beautiful rivers, nice 2 big rivers. One was the Tisa that divided us from your grandparents, from Le. And the other one was the Isa.